Chapter 76, The Tiana Gang of Building 26. Zhang Yi told Zhou Qi what had just happened. It was those workers from next door, Building 26, who did it. There's a new development nearby, so a lot of the workers rent houses in the area. Zhou Qi was a little curious. Our community is considered mid to high-end. Do you think they'd be willing to spend that much money? Zhang Yi said, there are 10 people living in one room. How expensive do you think it can be? Zhou Qi let out an "oh" and nodded. Then she looked grave. In that case, they are actually more dangerous than Chen Zhenghao. Zhang Yi nodded in agreement. Chen Zhenghao is just a social scumbag. In the past, in times of peace, ordinary people were afraid to get into trouble, so they were afraid of him. But now everyone is living from hand to mouth. If he didn't have a gun, he would have been beaten to death a long time ago. But these workers are different. They do manual labor every day, and their physical strength is much stronger than ordinary people, and their fighting ability is also more fierce. And they all know each other, and there are so many of them, so it's convenient for whatever they want to do. Zhang Yi took a deep breath and exclaimed, fortunately, we killed that fat guy who played with explosives yesterday, otherwise we won't be able to sleep at night in the future. Zhou Qi asked, so what do we do after that? Do we want to take revenge on them? Zhang Yi's eyebrows rose. Of course we want revenge. But there's no way I'm going over there. It's not wise to go to someone else's territory. Look at them, I've already killed most of them, haven't I? Zhou Qi said helplessly, but you have a gun. Having a gun doesn't help. Zhang Yi spoke with righteous conviction. Even if I killed them all, if I got hit by a shovel, I'd feel like I'd suffered a great loss. Zhou Qi rolled her eyes. You're really too cautious, too careful. But if you don't go out and find them, how will you get your revenge? They don't look like they're afraid of death, they feel like outlaws. After all, who in their right mind would play with explosives inside a residential building? One careless move and you could bury yourself. Zhang Yi ran his hand along his chin and a plan began to form in his mind. It seems that if I want to live a peaceful life in the future, I'll have to find some people to use as cannon fodder. Zhang Yi thought for a moment, then took out his phone and opened the group chat for owners of Building 25. At that moment, the neighbors had all been woken up by the explosion and the group was abuzz with activity. What was that loud noise? Was it an earthquake? Or was it a barrage of bullets? The sound came from upstairs. Could it be a meteorite falling? Very likely. If it wasn't a meteorite, why would the temperature be so abnormal? Maybe humans will become extinct just like the dinosaurs. It was a complete mess, with everyone saying something different. Zhang Yi said, just now, a group of workers from Building 26 broke into our building and tried to kill people and loot supplies. I noticed it in time and drove them away. Zhang Meng, who lives on the 16th floor, has been killed. As for that sound, they used explosives. The neighbors became nervous when they heard Zhang Yi's story. What? We just got rid of Chen Zhenghao, and now those hicks from next door are here again. They can be ruthless. I heard that there are often fights between groups of people at that construction site over there. How did the people from Building 26 get here? Zhang Yi said, they dug a tunnel through the snow from below and came up along the first floor. Someone immediately said nervously, quickly collapsed the tunnel and locked the doors. Zhang Yi said, it's useless. Those kinds of doors will break if you slam them. Even if you block them, they can climb in through the windows on the 4th floor. The neighbors were terrified. If Zhang Yi had not driven those people away that night, they might have broken into their homes and killed them. What are we going to do? How can we fight those laborers? Half the people in our building are dead, and most of those who remain are old, weak women and children. That was true. Most of the able-bodied men had died near Zhang Yi's home. At this point, someone said, luckily we have Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi, you're amazing, you single-handedly drove all those people away. With you here, our safety is guaranteed. Zhang Yi, you're our hero. After being reminded by the previous few people, the others suddenly realized. Zhang Yi is now the strongest combatant in their building, and he also has a gun in his hand. Letting him deal with the workers in the next building is the best choice. Zhang found this scene quite comical. Before, they had been cursing him every day in the group, calling him selfish and shameless. Most of the people had family members who had died at Zhang Yi's hands, and they hated him to the bone. Now they were asking Zhang Yi for help, calling him a hero. Did they really think Zhang Yi was stupid? Zhang Yi gave a derisive smile and said, "I've used up a lot of weapons fighting them, and now I can barely defend myself. Everyone fend for yourselves. What a joke. Why should I protect you? What do I care if you die?" After saying this, Zhang Yi fell silent. The people in the group became agitated, and one after the other, they begged Zhang Yi to protect them. "Zhang Yi, you can't just stand by and watch us die. If we all die, you two will be the only ones left alive. Won't you be lonely? If we all die, sooner or later you two will become the target of everyone's attention. I wonder how many people are keeping an eye on you." Zhang Yi's eyes hardened at these words. That person was right. He didn't know how many people were keeping an eye on him right now. After all, the video Zhang Yi had posted in the group chat had definitely been forwarded by his neighbors. The people outside would at most feel a little jealous after seeing it. But the people in the surrounding apartment buildings have the opportunity to come to Building 25 and take everything from him. But he still didn't say anything. Instead, Uncle Yu sent Zhang Yi a private message, asking concernedly if Zhang Yi needed any help. "I know those sons of bitches from Building 26, I've even had a drink with them before. Damn it, they actually came over here and tried to take advantage of you. I won't let them get away with it. Zhang Yi, if you have any ideas, let me know, and I'll help you get rid of them." Zhang Yi smiled. "Uncle Yu, they have quite a few people, don't they?" Uncle Yu said, "Well, there were originally more than 30 of them. But recently, about 10 of them died, so there are only about 20 left. I know their leader, Huang Tianfang, and we even talked a while ago. But these sons of bitches are really something, and they've killed a lot of people at Building 26. Bah, I won't be in the same group with these bastards." Uncle Yu and the workers were all from the countryside. But while the workers were socializing, Uncle Yu had spent many years in the army. Their mindsets were simply not on the same level. Chapter 77, Zhang Yi, if you don't come out, I'll kill your neighbors. According to Uncle Yu's introduction, Zhang Yi got a little bit of an understanding of those people. The group of workers worked under the name of a construction company called Tiana Group. They were not formal employees, but were contracted by a contractor and worked for them. However, they bragged to the outside world that they were employees of Tiana Group, which gave them a better reputation. That's why their group now calls themselves the Tiana Gang, with the skinny, short man Huang Tianfang as their leader. "Zhang Yi, do you have any plans for them? Just let me know if you need any help," said Uncle Yu. Zhang Yi gave a faint smile. It was impossible for him to attack this so-called Tiana Gang. His greatest support was this steel fortress. Once he leaves the room, he will have to face 20 people. Even if he has a gun, it will be very dangerous. "Uncle Yu, it's better to be safe. I don't have any plans to take revenge for now. It's mainly because I'm alone, and even if you join me, we still don't have a guarantee of victory. Unless there was a flash of brilliance in his eyes, we can mobilize all the neighbors in the building." Uncle Yu understood what Zhang Yi meant. "You mean to say that we should all join forces and unite against Huang Tianfang and his gang?" "Yes, that's exactly what I mean." Uncle Yu said, "Okay, I'll put that idea forward in the group. Let's see how many of them are willing." Zhang Yi laughed and said, "Uncle Yu, there's no need for that. If you go out of your way to get them to join the group, they'll just think you have an ulterior motive, or that you're trying to push your luck." Uncle Yu asked, "So what should we do?" Zhang Yi laughed, "We're in no hurry. We have enough supplies at home, so we'll just wait. The Tiana Gang will definitely come back for a second time after they made it through the first time. Not to mention, they've lost so many people to me, they'll definitely come back for revenge. By then, the neighbors in this building will naturally come to us for help." Uncle Yu couldn't help but exclaim, "Zhang Yi, you're really brilliant. The two of them hit it off and reached an agreement to ignore the Tiana gang for the time being. In the property owners group, the neighbors wanted Zhang Yi and Uncle Yu to take the lead and clean up the Tiana gang. They were very skilled at moral blackmail. While praising Zhang Yi and Uncle Yu, they said that they were good people, but Zhang Yi felt that this was an insult, since they were saying you are a good person, and your whole family is good. While making all kinds of excuses themselves, saying that they have no food and no strength to fight. Or they refuse to come out on the pretext that they are old people or women. Zhang Yi knows these shameless neighbors too well, so he simply ignores them. Anyway, after the sword has been swung at them, they will naturally know the meaning of pain. Over the next 2 days, Zhang Yi began to obtain information from the outside world. Of course, he would not ask them himself, because there were too many people who wanted the supplies in his house, and the information they gave him might be false. He asked Zhou Qi and Uncle Yu to help him find out. The two of them were a doctor and a security guard, and they had quite a lot of connections. Zhang Yi wanted to know which people among the 30 buildings in their Yuelu neighborhood were a threat to him. It wasn't hard to find out this information. Just ask who has killed the most people and who has the most power right now. Zhou Qi took the initiative to get out a pen and paper and help Zhang Yi make a statistics table. Zhang Yi took a look and saw that it gave a rough description of the other party's strength in terms of the number of people and their weapons. After reading it, he felt a lot more at ease. After all, Yuelu neighborhood was a mid to high-end location, and there weren't that many vicious criminals in it. According to the intelligence obtained by Zhou Qi and Uncle Yu, there are mainly two forces that are more troublesome. One is the Tiana gang next door at Building 26. They were formed with the small construction team under the Tiana group as the source, and their fighting power is fierce. Their only weapons are shovels and steel bars, and they don't have any guns. The bomb that was used against Zhang Yi last time was homemade by a worker in their company who knew about explosives, so its power was limited. That worker had been burned to death by Zhang Yi, so they were unable to continue making soil bombs afterwards. However, no one knows for sure if they still have any in stock. We have to be careful. Find an opportunity to send a few cannon fodder over there to deplete their reserves. Zhang Yi muttered to himself. In addition to the Tiana gang, there was another force that had caught his attention. In Building 21, there was a force made up of a group of young people who called themselves the Wild Wolf Gang. The name sounds extremely immature, but their combat effectiveness is not weak. According to the information Zhou Qi found out, these people include students and some idle street skaters. The average age is around 20, and there are more than 10 people in the group. The two leaders are called Wang Chang and Xiao Lu. Zhang Yi knew both of them. They are well-known street skaters in Yuelu neighborhood. After graduating from a third-rate university, they started living off their parents' money. They weren't considered rich second generation, but they were middle class. They refused to go out and work, so they stayed at home all the time. Over time, they got together with some people in society. In the past, they wouldn't even compare to Chen Zhenghao. But there were no tough guys like Zhang Yi in their building, so they let them get big. For Zhang Yi, these were the only two forces that posed a certain threat to him. In other apartment buildings, some even had only a dozen households left. Many people could not bear the horror of the end of the world and chose to end their lives due to mental breakdowns. Either that, or they killed each other in the extreme shortage of supplies and died off completely. Zhang Yi felt more confident. He said to Zhou Qi, "Continue gathering intelligence, we must find out exactly what's going on and minimize the danger. It's especially crucial to find out if they have any firearms." Zhou Qi nodded gently, then picked up her phone and continued to find out more information. In the following days, Zhang Yi and Uncle Yu reached a consensus and both stayed at home without leaving. The people from the Tiana gang hated Zhang Yi to the bone after the last time they suffered a loss. They had mourned the deaths of 8 of their brothers who they had known for many years, and the rest of them had also been badly injured in the fire. 2 of them died of their injuries after returning home that night. The Tiana gang had never suffered such a loss before. They vowed to take revenge for their brothers by cleansing Building 25 with blood and killing Zhang Yi. However, there was a twist. The person they hated most was Zhang Yi, and the person they feared most was also Zhang Yi. After witnessing Zhang Yi's tactics and realizing that Zhang Yi's home is easy to defend against but hard to attack, they were afraid to take action against Zhang Yi for the time being. So what should they do? They could only take the neighbors of Zhang Yi's apartment building and use the swords against them. Huang Tianfang thought, Zhang Yi, if I can't kill you, can I kill your neighbors? When you see your neighbors die tragically, won't you feel guilty? How will you face their blame? Killing your neighbors is the greatest revenge I can have on you. Huang Tianfang was quite philosophical about it, knowing that you have to pick on the weaker ones. So in the following days, he returned with a group of people and snuck into several households. After killing someone, he would write in blood in the hallway, Zhang Yi, if you don't come out, I'll kill all your neighbors. Chapter 78, The Neighbors Beg for Protection. Huang Tianfang, thinking he was clever, killed many people in Building 25 in order to force Zhang Yi out. If this were to happen in a movie with a saintly female protagonist, she would definitely be unable to hold back at this point and would have to stand up to Huang Tianfang and negotiate. But unfortunately, Zhang Yi not only did not feel any remorse, instead he was overjoyed. His goal was to get Huang Tianfang to kill more neighbors, causing panic, so that these neighbors would have no choice but to beg him to take action. Sure enough, just 2 days later, the neighbors couldn't take it anymore. They saw the bloody words left by Huang Tianfang before he left, and they agreed that only if Zhang Yi went out and faced Huang Tianfang could the problem be solved. So, the group was bombarded with all kinds of messages, private messages and voice calls. Zhang Yi opened the group chat to take a look at the neighbors' reactions. Zhang Yi, you caused all this trouble, you have to solve it. You attracted those people from the Tiana gang and you killed them, what does that have to do with us? Yes, you did it, you should take the blame. You can't expect us to pay the price for you. They said that they won't stop killing until you come out. Zhang Yi, if you have a conscience, you should solve this yourself. Are you really willing to watch everyone die because of you? Zhang Yi laughed when he saw the messages from these people. He wasn't really angry because he knew exactly what these neighbors were like. He casually sent a few messages in the group. It's not like I asked them to come. What, they came to kill me, and I got the upper hand and killed some of them, but in the end it's my fault? You guys can't resist them on your own, so what do I care? You also said that those people are too dangerous. In that case, I will definitely stay inside. My house is still the safest place. Hee hee. After saying that, Zhang Yi even sent a smiley face emoji. This really angered the neighbors in the building. Zhang Yi, you may be safe, but what about us? Aren't you putting us all in danger? You invited those people here, so why should we face them for you? Do you even have a conscience? Facing the neighbors' accusations, Zhang Yi laughed out loud. He knew very well how shameless they were. He sneered, what do I care what you do? Do I give a damn if you die? Don't talk to me about conscience. When you attacked my house, didn't you all take part? It's only because I'm generous that I didn't come to your doors with a gun and shoot you all dead. You're all screaming now, but you're not fit to talk to me about morals. He said in a menacing tone, do you really think I won't dare to kill you? Zhang Yi's last words silenced many people. They suddenly remembered that Zhang Yi was not someone to be trifled with. How did Chen Zhenghao die? He was frozen alive and smashed to pieces. Zhang Yi did it. Zhang Yi stopped talking and sent Uncle Yu a message. Uncle Yu, it's your turn to show off. Uncle Yu said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. In the owners' group, those owners were at a loss for what to do after being scolded by Zhang Yi. The moral kidnapping failed and negotiations broke down, which meant that in the future, they would still have to face the Tiana gang, who would come in and kill them at any time. The men in Building 25 had suffered heavy casualties, and now the only remaining combatants were Zhang Yi and Uncle Yu. What are we going to do? We thought that if Chen Zhenghao died, we would be able to survive. But it turns out that the people in the Tiana gang are even more ruthless. Chen Zhenghao killed people to establish his authority and get food rations. But Huang Tianfang and the others killed people for revenge. They killed anyone they saw, without giving it a second thought. Does that mean we really just have to wait to die? Damn it, why has the world become what it is? Is a barbaric society the norm from now on? The snowstorm won't end anytime soon, and we'll all perish in it. Many people were overcome by a deep sense of despair, thinking that they would not live for much longer. But at this moment, Uncle Yu, who was usually so quiet, suddenly appeared. Don't panic, there are only about 20 people in the Tiana gang. If we stick together, we can fight them. The appearance of Uncle Yu gave many people a light in their eyes. After all, this retired soldier and security guard usually gave people the impression of being simple and reliable. Uncle Yu, thank goodness you're here. You haven't said a word lately, I thought you'd died too. Great, as long as Uncle Yu is here, everyone's safety is guaranteed. Uncle Yu, just tell us what to do, and we'll fully support you. Uncle Yu couldn't help but tremble when he saw what the neighbors had said. Fully support me? Does that mean you still want me to go, while you just watch from behind? He was at a loss for words. Uncle Yu said, hey, it's no use relying on just me, you know. Our family's supplies have also run out. We haven't eaten for several days, and we're so hungry we don't have the strength. Everyone's situation is probably similar to mine. In this state, how can we compete with the Tiana gang? Some of the neighbors remained silent. Some of the neighbors had actually been eating well recently, and had been eating barbecued meat. Once you've become numb, the taste of that food is actually quite good. Uncle Yu, what should we do? Everyone is actually short of food, and there's nothing we can do to help. They had just said they would support him, but now they didn't even want to spare any food. What do you suggest? We'll listen to you. The sweet talk started again. Uncle Yu said, our building is going to have to fight against the other buildings, and we can only rely on Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi's family has a lot of weapons, and he eats well every day, so he has the strength. Having him lead us is the best choice. The crowd stared at each other, quite speechless. They had just made Zhang Yi angry, and now they wanted Zhang Yi to lead them. But Zhang Yi just said he would leave us to our own fate. He won't leave that house, and we can't call out to him. But if he can come and lead us, that would indeed be best. They felt that although Zhang Yi was hateful, he was indeed very powerful. Half the people in the apartment building had died at his hands. What about the vicious mobster Chen Zhenghao? He was smashed to pieces by Zhang Yi. Uncle Yu said, let's do this. Zhang Yi and I are still on speaking terms. I'll go talk to him and see if I can convince him to come out of seclusion. Everyone said quickly, Uncle Yu, we're counting on you. Chapter 79, Enlisting the Neighbors as Cannon Fodder. Zhang Yi saw the conversations in the group. Uncle Yu turned to Zhang Yi and sent him a private message. Zhang Yi, what now? Zhang Yi said, the time is right. You'll have to help me out and get these people to listen to me. A combination of threats and rewards will make them listen. Only then will our building be safe. Zhang Yi didn't know if they would be completely safe, but Zhang Yi would definitely feel safer. And many of these neighbors would be sent to the front line as cannon fodder by Zhang Yi. Basically, they all had family members killed by Zhang Yi, and they would definitely seek revenge once they had the chance in the future. So it was best to get rid of them now. After Uncle Yu and Zhang Yi had finished their discussion, the two of them returned to the group of property owners. Uncle Yu pretended to be impressed by Zhang Yi and said, Zhang Yi, everyone really needs you right now. If you're the only household left in the building, you'll be lonely too, won't you? So please be kind and help everyone out. Everyone will be truly grateful. The neighbors chimed in. Yes, 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 everyone will be eternally grateful if you can save us. In the future, you will be in charge of our building. Zhang Yi, we are putting the lives of our family in your hands. Flattery came pouring in. Zhang Yi sneered. I only agreed to talk to you because of Uncle Yu. But I don't care about you guys at all. I'm living my life, so why should I care about any of you? I would have to go out and work hard, risking my life. I don't think it's worth it. The more Zhang said this, the more uneasy the neighbors felt. Zhang, don't. At most, in the future, we'll do whatever you tell us to do, okay? They were just trying to survive, in a desperate situation. As long as there was even the slightest hope of survival, they didn't want to die. Zhang asked with a sneer, "Oh? Really? You'll do whatever I tell you to do? All of you are in agreement?" The neighbors hesitated for a while. Someone said, "As long as you're not telling us to die, we can agree to any terms." Zhang countered, "If I tell you to take up arms and fight to the death with the Tianhe gang, will you go?" The group suddenly became quiet. No one spoke, waiting for someone to take the lead. Zhang laughed heartily, "So you all just want me to go and die, right? Fine, I'll leave you alone. When Huang Tianfan comes with his men to kill us, just stick your necks out and let them hack away. Goodbye." Uncle Yu was desperate. "Zhang, don't. We'll definitely listen to you. We're all going to die anyway, but if we fight, we might stand a chance. I'm with you." With that, he began to rally the others. "What are you hesitating for? If we fight together, we might stand a chance. Do we want to wait for the enemy to come and kill us one by one?" Uncle Yu's encouragement did the job. Thinking that they might stand a chance if they fight, everyone spoke up and agreed to follow Zhang Yi's orders. Zhang Yi and Uncle Yu sang in unison, and in this way gained control of the entire building. He said indifferently, "Fine, from now on everything has to be done according to my plan. The situation is serious, the enemy may attack at any time. Any kind of passive behavior is considered a betrayal of the owners of the entire building. When the time comes, don't blame me for directly killing that person." Zhang Yi's gaze swept over the list of group members. "Don't let me find anyone who hides and refuses to come out and fight. If I find one, I'll kill them directly. No one will be allowed to hide and pick the fruit." Zhang Yi said this because he roughly counted and found that there were only about 20 people talking in the group. Obviously, some people who didn't speak were planning to hide and act like ostriches, letting Zhang Yi lead the others to their deaths. When Zhang Yi said this, the neighbors who had agreed to face the enemy with Zhang Yi were also unhappy. "Fang Lin, come out here. I know you're not dead, I saw you shoveling snow yesterday. Liang Lulu, where are you? Don't hide, and don't pretend you didn't see the group message. We'll come find you when the time comes." The neighbors' eyes were red with anger as they called out the ostriches. People are selfish. They were determined to play for keeps, and of course they didn't want to watch others hide behind their backs. So, with no choice, the others poked their heads out too. "Ah, I just fell asleep and only just saw the message." "Huh? What's going on? Are we going to fight back? That's great. I'm not afraid of death, I just didn't see it," said the group of people with guilty hearts. Zhang Yi didn't care about that either. "Anyway, since everyone elected me as the leader of the building, they have to listen to my orders. Anyone who dares to go against me is betraying all the owners and deserves to die." The owners were too afraid to speak, knowing that Zhang Yi would really kill them. The 50-odd dead souls were bloody evidence. After brandishing the big stick, Zhang Yi pondered for a moment before preparing to offer them a carrot. "Don't worry, I, Zhang Yi, am a kind person and can't bear to see you go hungry. As long as you're obedient, I'll go out and help you find supplies." Zhang Yi had been planning this for a while. Since there was an engineering team that would use blasting techniques, there was no guarantee that there wouldn't be more powerful enemies in the future. He lived on the 24th floor, and although the house was made entirely of metal, if there was a collapse downstairs, it would also have a very big impact on his house. That's why he wants to keep a group of cannon fodder living below him to keep watch for him and help him fight to the death if necessary. To keep them, he definitely needs supplies. Zhang Yi is reluctant to give them the supplies inside his space, so he needs to go out and find some. Moreover, his weapons and ammunition are depleting relatively quickly. He used up 20 bullets in the battle the other day, and he also needs to consider going out and finding more weapons and equipment. As for how to travel, the answer to this question is very simple. With more than 10 meters of snow, vehicles are useless. However, there is a type of vehicle that is designed for driving in the snow: a snowmobile. Zhang Yi has 5 in his Space 2 snowmobiles with cabins and 3 compact snowmobiles. In this era of heavy snow that has shut down the city, it takes a huge effort for anyone else to leave their doors. However, he can freely travel throughout the city. The owner's group exploded at this point. Zhang Yi, can you go out and find supplies? It's snowing so heavily, and there's no way to drive. Do you want to wade through the snow and go out? Then you'll freeze to death. Zhang Yi said, no matter how bad the environment is outside, I have to try for everyone. Don't worry, I've been working in storage for many years. I know every warehouse in Tianhai City, as well as every large shopping mall and supermarket. Finding supplies won't be difficult for me. Chapter 80, Snowmobiles. The neighbors looked like they had met a savior. Even some of those whose hearts had died within them and who had curled up under the blankets at home waiting to die, now had light shining in their eyes. Zhang Yi, can you really go out and find supplies? If we do, we can survive. Although the city is under a snowstorm, the supplies produced by our society over the past few decades are actually enough for us to survive. Zhang Yi, I am really moved. We treated you so badly, and now you are still. Some people choked up. Originally, almost everyone in their family had died at the hands of Zhang Yi. But now their hatred for Zhang Yi seemed to have disappeared all of a sudden, and all that was left in their hearts was gratitude. Zhang Yi said with a deep voice, since I have become the leader of the building, I am responsible for everyone. And the supplies in my house are also running out. Going out to find supplies is the only way for us to survive. Everyone felt more at ease when Zhang Yi said this. In the end times, if you say you are a good person doing good deeds, others will always think you are hypocritical when they think about it. But if you also have your own interests to consider, everyone will think that is normal. After all, the end of the world came almost a month ago. Many people in the neighborhood have starved to death. So they think that even if Zhang Yi stocked up as many supplies as he could at home, there will come a day when they run out. What's more, now that there are 2 people in the family, supplies will be consumed even faster. The neighbors were grateful to Zhang Yi and praised him like a god in their words. So much so that Zhou Qi even laughed and said, if you set up a religion at this time, you could be its founder. Religion grows the fastest in times of disaster. Because people always need a spiritual support. Zhang Yi gave a faint smile and said, there's no need to make things complicated with a bunch of cannon fodder. I only need to use a piece of moldy steamed bread to make them treat me more kindly than their own father. Zhou Qi asked curiously, but do you really have to go out? Her eyes revealed a hint of worry and a sense of guilt. Zhang Yi understood that she really thought that Zhang Yi didn't have much supplies left and felt that she was a burden to Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi pinched her rosy little face and smiled with narrowed eyes. Don't worry, there are enough supplies at home to support you. I'm just looking for a suitable opportunity to go out and take a look at the situation outside. In normal times, Zhang Yi would not dare go out for fear of being attacked by his crazy neighbors. But now that he has become everyone's hope for survival, naturally no one will want to attack him. Zhou Qi nodded, then I'll go with you. She knew that Zhang Yi did not fully trust her, so she volunteered to go with him. Zhang Yi looked at her with deep eyes and slowly but firmly shook his head. We're in a relationship now, do you think I would still doubt you? A woman should stay at home and wait for her man to return. Zhang Yi slowly got up. Zhou Qi's eyes welled up with emotion. But this emotion didn't last long. Because Zhang Yi quickly stored the remaining food and coal in the house into his space. I trust you 100%. Zhang Yi said with a smile. Zhou Qi didn't know what to say. She was at a loss for words. She had just been deeply moved by Zhang Yi, but he had immediately returned to his usual self. Ignoring Zhou Qi's sad expression, Zhang Yi went back to his room to change. This was the first time he had chosen to leave the apartment building since the end of the world. The city was sealed off by heavy snow, and there was no sign of any living creatures outside, so the danger level was not that high. However, out of caution, Zhang Yi still put on a calfskin jacket. This material could not be pierced even if you stabbed it with a sword, unless you had enough strength. After careful consideration, he found 2 skillet pans in dimensional space and placed one in front of and one behind his body. This way, even if he encountered an opponent with a gun, an ordinary handgun would not be able to injure him. Finally, he put on his cold weather clothing. By this time, his figure already looked quite bulky, but he felt safe and secure. Zhang Yi took out a crowbar that was over 1 meter long and tested it in his hand. In a real fight, this heavy crowbar is actually more useful than a machete. A wound from a blade will not immediately render someone unable to fight, but a blow from a crowbar will immediately knock them down. Zhang Yi took the crowbar, loaded the pistol magazine, and put it in his pocket. Only after he was fully armed did he leave his home. It was very cold outside, and even though he was wearing the same professional-level sportswear as the national mountaineering teams, he could still feel a slight chill. However, this chill would not affect Zhang Yi, and after going out for some exercise, his body would warm up. Zhang Yi held the crowbar in both hands and slowly walked down the stairs. Before he started, he always took a look around to check the situation. Better to be safe than sorry. There were no problems along the way, and after all, there were only a very few people who were overconfident. Zhang Yi arrived on the 4th floor. Due to the actions of the Tiana gang and others, basically all the residents here had moved to the upper floors, and no one lived below the 10th floor. Zhang Yi pushed open the doors and entered. The inside was a mess. The windows had already been smashed, and even the flimsy security bars had been torn open. The wind howled as it entered the building through the hole. Zhang Yi carefully climbed out through the hole. When he set foot on the ground, the snow reached his knees. However, as the snow continued to accumulate, it had become compacted underneath, and did not let him sink in. But walking on this kind of snow is also quite difficult. Zhang Yi looked up and looked around. The vast Yuelu neighborhood was deathly quiet, and there was nothing in the air but the sound of the wind. He didn't see any prying eyes either. Zhang Yi took out the snowmobile from dimensional space. Before leaving, he had filled it with fuel. Driving one of these vehicles was not complicated. After a little thought, and after reading the instructions, Zhang Yi knew how to operate it. He rolled onto the seat, turned the key, and immediately the engine roared to life. Zhang Yi drove the snowmobile all the way out of the residential area. As he left the residential area, Zhang Yi felt as if some people were looking at him through the windows. This was not surprising. After all, there were no longer any humans out and about, and the sound of the snowmobile was very loud. It seems that in the future, people will still have greedy thoughts towards me because of this snowmobile. Zhang Yi's mouth curled up in a sneer. He was not afraid of exposing the existence of the snowmobile. There were too many people who wanted to take advantage of him. Not to mention that nowadays, it was not uncommon to kill someone over a cookie. In Zhang Yi's own words, you can't drown in too much debt. The heavy snow had submerged many of the short houses, and the streets were even more invisible. But having lived here for more than 20 years, Zhang Yi can roughly figure out his bearings from the high-rise landmarks. So for him, getting lost is not an issue.